I think people can get scared sometimes too if you have something original that you're going to get somebody who's going to just troll. I mean, because obviously being creatives, being creators, we definitely have to deal with negative feedback. And it's very interesting. I think in our world, it's kind of unique compared to other, like the gaming world or the movie world, where they'll get a million voices, saying that the latest whatever movie was crap is. You can kind of wash over that as like background
Right.
noise. But for us, we get like specific from an individual to
Right.
our individual stories to us as individuals, that in it you can't help but feel that it's a personal attack. Um,
Right.
how do you kind of deal with that kind of, of course, there's a difference between fair criticism and just
Right.
being a troll. So how do you kind of deal with the fair criticism, and how do you deal with the trolling?
All right. I honestly, I have only ever received one negative comment on my work.
Well, that's really good.
So, yeah, I mean, I'm no expert in dealing with it, but at the same time, I got the one. Um, and that one was, look, I don't mind criticism. I honestly don't at all. Say whatever you want as long as it has merit. You know
Right.
what I mean? This guy, I had entered it. This is back when just the first book was out, before I redid it and fixed some issues. And this guy read it, and it was, oh, I'm sorry, I entered it in the self-published fantasy blog off.
Okay.
And so I entered it in that because, whatever, I didn't know any better. And the guy that reviewed my book didn't like my cover. And his review was two full paragraphs talking about how horrible my cover was. The worst cover in existence, There's never been a cover as bad as this one ever. And then this like 3 sentence section of, it's a worthy entry, it's a good book, strong characters, all this kind of stuff. And he gave me a 1-star review. And it's like, okay, hold on. Hold on a second. Like the cover, that's one thing, but I don't see how he could praise the inside of the book, criticize just the cover, and then give me 1 star. That's not fair. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I wrote him out. He ended up changing it to a 2 star.
Oh, wow.
That's twice as much as it was, So like, hey. But, as far as how I respond to that, I actually still, I don't have a card beside me, but I took one of his quotes from the three,
Right.
one of the 3 sentences of nice stuff he said, and I used that as promotional material for my book. So,
Nice.
that's people are going to say what they're going to say. The thing is, if there's a separation with people. If you're not looking somebody in the eye there with them in person, humans tend to treat those people that they don't really exist. You
Mm.
know what I mean? Like they're automatons, whatever it's called.
Yep.
Just, some random thing out there that doesn't have feelings, and it doesn't matter what they say about them. And, so that's where all that stuff comes from. The things that those people say in your review, they would never say to your face.
Right.
So I don't get too hung up about it. It's going to happen. Like I said, I don't care if people bash my book as long as it's fair. Give me the reasons why you didn't like it, and that's fine. If they pay for it, they can say whatever they want to about it.
Exactly.
That's cool. That's even trade.
Right. Yeah. So you have to keep in mind that again, criticism is another part of getting better, because sometimes it's valid criticism. It can be at times, and you can go, yeah, I can see where, I agree too that that's a issue there or whatever. But the trolls that's a totally different story. I don't know if you've seen, they've had a study recently, because I'm big into psychology, and they had a study of the kind of people that heavily engage in negative activity on social media, like trolling and dragging people, doxing people, stuff like that, or just people who are just on all the time just to put up something negative. And I do feel, having seen so many reviews for so many different things, especially in our community, and looking up at other people's pages and seeing what the reviews said about what they did. There is this element that seems to just be obsessed with it, and they kind of did the study that says there's it's kind of this link to, it's kind of a psychopathy to some extent.
Mhm.
And there's a bit of narcissism in there, and there's a lot, like 4 negative traits that are tied up with consistently with the behavioral patterns of people like that. So I kind of try to keep that in mind if I ever do get
Right.
negative reviews that are like wildly crazy.